Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody in between. Welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we bring you our brand new series, the Hexeal Alt+F4 Championship, live from Spa in Belgium. In the booth with me tonight, I have the one and only Mr. Pete Bingham. Good evening.
Good evening, Clyde. Evening, everybody.
And your cameraman for the evening, as usual, is Mr. Sam Boozing. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
So, Pete, a brand new series. The first time, I believe, that we have ever broadcast an open wheel series. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and the drivers are certainly having a lot of fun with the car.
Yeah. Done a few laps in this car earlier, and I really like it. It's the first time I've driven it. It for some reason reminds me of driving the Star Mazda back in the day when that was on iRacing. Only this one has grip, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I prefer driving this track now that it's got the upgrade and you can actually use the curbs a bit without picking 1Xs up every 5 seconds. And I think this is going to be a great race. We've never broadcast these, but we've done a few. Well, you've organised a few racing leagues with open wheel, and they've all been good.
Yeah, it's a different type of racing, isn't it? You know, you obviously, I was going to say there's no door banging, but then they've got no doors, so you know, you have to be a little bit more careful because you can get yourself into damage trouble in a hurry in an open wheel car. And obviously these cars have got the new damage model on. I did put a picture up on Discord a little while ago of one of the practice accidents. So yeah, you know, these drivers, although you can go wheel to wheel, you've still got to be a bit careful and maybe be prepared to give a little bit more room than normal.
I mean, the dynamics of open wheel cars is very different to GT racing or any of the other racing with doors, we'll call that. The evolution of the car over time changes, the way that the car turns into corners, holds its line through corners, the way it tries to snap at you. It all changes much more dynamically than in a standard car with doors. And you're absolutely right. If you go wheel to wheel with somebody, you've got to give room, or enough room that somebody can sneeze, wobble a little bit, and you don't actually touch tyres, because one of you is going straight to the moon. That's what seems to happen with open wheel cars when the wheels touch.
Yeah. So a little bit about this new series for our viewers at home. So 2 rounds per evening, or per race meeting, should I say, 2 30-minute races, and it is a 20-race championship. The season is a little bit spread out because what we've tried to do is not clash this with any of the iRacing special events. So we've got another round in a couple of weeks' time. And then we pretty much go to once a month until we get back to, I think, October. And then we're back to fortnightly again. But hopefully that will keep up the participation. And we're expecting that once people see how much fun this car is, and how much fun the league is going to be, I'll say that because I'm sure it's going to be, we'll get some more members and the grids will start growing. And things will be all rosy. I think I can remember the GT4 TCR Challenge, which we're now in Season 8, starting off with similar numbers to this. So not too worried at the moment. Usual BSTV league rules. The drivers have 15 incident points to play with, and I'm sure Pete will talk you through the incident points. After that, they will get a drive-through penalty. Obviously, they're not fuel limited because it's only a 30-minute sprint race for both races. And apart from that, all we're hoping for is good racing and clean racing as well, Pete.
Yeah. It's Spa used to be a track that you could easily pick up like a whole ton of incident points. I think a limit of 15, and I'd have been out doing drive-throughs after about 3 laps. But let's head down here with Jamie Wilson. We're just coming up to the end of the lap, so we're heading towards the turn known quite eloquently as the chicane. So this is coming now onto the start-finish straight, or just the finish straight, I think. Are we starting here, or are we starting around the corner, Sam? Can't remember which one it'll be.
It's the Grand Prix layout, so that's the start and the finish.
Ah, right, okay. So this is last source. It's a difficult turn because it tips in. The apex is kind of downhill and then straight back uphill again, so it catches some people out. We head down here into, excuse me, not fully recovered, into Eau Rouge, and then over the top here, this is Radion. Sam is busy cringing at everything that I say because it's kind of French-Belgian. Down Camel Straight and into Les Coums. And you can brake super late in this car here. In a door car, you're at the rumble strip back there, but in these cars, not the case. So we head down the hill here towards Brussels, which is a horseshoe corner, if you're in America. Second gear.
That was Rivage, or have they changed the name?
No, I think that's Brussels. Sam will know, he lives like next door, or used to live next door to. So we head down here towards Double Gauche, which is the corner that I can never get right. I either turn it in too soon and pick up a 1x on this left-hander here, or go too wide and pick up a 1x on the outside out, or both. And then you're back on the gas. The track is so wide here, you can use a huge amount of speed. And then drop down a couple of gears to fourth in order to hold the inside here. You don't need to drop in this car into third here. You can keep it in fourth, keep the gas in. And then third gear for this one. Oh, he's keeping it in fourth there, is Jamie. Much better on it than I am. And then you are fully on the gas all the way through here. Most of these corners, once upon a time, if you dipped a wheel off too much, you got a 1x quite easily. Now it's a bit more generous. And you can get around without fear of picking up 1x's and drive a bit more like the real life drivers. This is Blanchimont. Full chat through there. And then you got to pick your braking point quite carefully here. It's very late in this car, like I said before, and you're really trying to get down to first gear or second gear for the first bit, maybe first for the second portion of the chicane, and then back over the stripe again. So it's not a massively frantic lap. It's a very technical lap. There is a huge amount of drafting going on around this track, and in these cars, that will be exaggerated to a ridiculous extreme, Clyde.
Yeah, obviously Spa, just a bit over 4 miles long. So, like you say, for me, it's always been one of those tracks where there's parts of it that I really enjoy, and then parts that I just can't stand. But I think generally, I do enjoy this track in most of the cars that I've driven it in. I too did a few practice laps in this car and found it an absolute blast. Even to the point of it's when you feel or hear, should we say, that the back end starting to go away from you can correct it, you can get it back. You don't necessarily end up in a heap in a wall somewhere. So, yeah, I think iRacing have done a good job with this car. I think it's fairly popular in the official series. So let's hope it gets more popular in a league series.
Well, I mean, it's not a real car in the real world, but what they've done with it is exceptional. There's a few cars that now they're almost like a lead up to IndyCar, aren't they? And the only one that you used to be able to get was Star Mazda at one time, like I said earlier. That's now Indy Pro, I think, which I really enjoy racing as well. I often do better in open wheel than I do in cars with doors. Maybe I've got an allergy towards car doors or something. I don't know.
You're claustrophobic.
Maybe it is that, yeah. Maybe that's why I don't do so well in those like LMP1 cars.
Yeah. Or even any car with a door.
Bit of a wiggle there from Carter. This is your provisional poleman that you're staring at the minute. Carter Hutchison.
Yeah, these cars, they've got a 2-litre engine in them, getting to about, I don't know, 160 brake horsepower. I was looking at the practice session, and the quickest I see one of these cars go, and that was in a tow, down the Kemmel Straight, was 140 miles an hour. So they're not slow, just takes them a little while to get there.
Yeah, and the downforce package I found was quite nice. We'll talk about that halo-y thing later once we get into the race, because we're not that far away from the end of quali, really. We're nearly 10 minutes in now, so they're 2/3 of the way through this qualifying session. Wobbly is he's quite a way off the top spot at the minute. 4/10 or no, what is that? Yeah, 4/10. Gary Craig doing well, just 500ths behind Wobbly, and only 100th behind Gary is Stefan. So I think this is going to be quite an exciting race, Clyde. If the qualifying times are anything to go by, it's going to be quite a tight race in pockets.
Yeah, and you know, with the tow round here, it's going to be quite difficult to get away. Whether that makes it difficult to overtake or not, we'll wait and see. I'm not sure on what sort of experience these guys have in this car. There's drivers out there that go quick in any car, rather annoyingly. But it's going to be a learning curve for all the drivers, I think, Pete. I suppose it's going to be one of those that the more time they put into the car, the more they're going to learn about it, and the better the results will be.
Yeah, definitely. And I was mentioning before about how much camber some of these cars have got, especially on the fronts. The downforce package is pretty good anyway, but obviously you rack up the camber, you can corner as if it's on rails, but then you lose in other ways. And these cars, they've not got a massive amount of things you can change on them. I was having a look at the garage settings before, but what you can change, and you will inevitably do so from track to track, makes a big difference to the handling of the car, and I think that'll both attract the how do you put them? Professional amateurs? I don't know. People who like to try and make a good setup and go fast in it, and also the ones that are just wanting to jump in and drive. I think it's got multiple appeals, this car.
Yeah, I must admit, I only drove the iRacing baseline. I found that quite stable, to be honest. So yeah, it's I think it's going to be a lot of fun for these drivers. Another thing in the rules, obviously, as usual, drivers will get a fast repair if it all goes horribly wrong. And the schedule is not complete yet, because this is going to follow on our race dates. Wherever the iRacing official race is, that's where we're going to race. So at the moment, in 2 weeks' time, on May the 7th, we go to Red Bull Ring. I think these cars are going to be awesome round there. And then on June the 4th, we go to Hockenheim. After that, we have no idea until iRacing release their schedules.
No, two tracks are almost made for open wheeler. It'll be interesting to see if they introduce anything. I mean, they don't have to stay on road courses, do they, with this car? I mean, they could go to ovals.
I'm not sure they will.
No.
it's sort of mirroring F4, isn't it? So
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to see a Winton or a Knock Hill. That'd be funny.
Yeah. I'm sure those will feature at some point. They'll want to make the most out of Winton. I mean, it's a brand new track, isn't it?
Exactly, yes. Let's do some good evening. So evening to Chris Jackson, to Stacey, to Bowman, to Ant Woodward, all joining in on the chat. Looking forward to a couple of really good races tonight. Interesting. I thought that Hutchison, I've got to try not to call him Hutchinson, had pole position done and dusted, but it looks like Tyler and Wobbly probably working together, using the toe to trump him in the standings.
Just going to say exactly that. He's got no running partners, has he? So he's kind of lost an advantage there to Tyler and Wobbly. You may even see, well, there's nobody else on track at the minute, but it might be a feature for future races that the teams do get together.
Yeah, evening to Marco. I don't drive any GT cars, Lewert. Guess what? This isn't a GT car. Why are you not in it? Okay, so checkers are out, Pete.
They certainly are. I'll run us through our starting order. So your pole man for tonight will be Tyler the Smiler, Tyler Hewitt. And he's in BSTV Esports Pink, even though I'm pretty sure his car is green. Wobbly is in second place, not far behind him in the timings at all. BSTV Esports Pink. Carter Hutchison for Full Send Racing will go off third. That's not the first Full Send Racing car we've had in one of our leagues. I'm pretty certain of that, Clyde.
No.
Gary Craig goes off fourth for BSTV Esports Green. Stefan Goebel for VTS Esports goes off fifth. Sixth will be Jamie Wilson for Team Chimera. Jason Morris goes off seventh. Carl Hardy for Safeguard by Result goes off eighth. Ninth will be Alexander Roggenbuck. Sir Alan Toon will go off 10th for Work Guard by Result. Mike Frost will go off 11th. Adam Wright will go off 12th for the STV Esports Green.
Okay, so we're just waiting for the final cars to line up on the grid, and then we will be taking the green flag for round one. As we said, 30-minute race. We are currently waiting for wobbly kneecaps.
This will probably be some bizarre tactic of his to keep his tyres warm or something.
Without a doubt, yes. It will be some sort of mind games, but there he is. Lights are coming on. And we're green.
We are. Where?
A lot of tyre smoke, but everybody gets away.
Ooh, Carter's done well. Carter's moved up to second, I think. Don't know whether his momentum will... Oh, he has done, yeah. His momentum's carried him as well. Excuse me.
Yeah, and I think we will get our first look down the Kemmel Straight as to what this toe is going to do with overtaking. As we have a quick look at the SB curb cam.
Are we going three wide? No, not quite.
I thought we was three wide then. There's no gap
Oh,
there.
Wobbly's trying to force himself a gap. That's only going to end badly, surely. Tell you what I am surprised about, Clyde, is how straight that front wing is. It's just a plank of wood.
Yeah. Pretty sure it won't be straight for long.
Yeah. Right then, we were nearly 2x2 at the front, and Carter's shuffled himself forward, Clyde. Oh, hang on, Carl.
That's Carl Hardy.
Too many pies in the back of that one. Oh, that's super wide from Wobbly. That's a 1x for sure.
We've done half a lap, and I'm liking this close racing already.
Yeah, that's a Team Chimera move from Jamie Wilson there.
This is like Skip Barber on steroids.
It is, it's good, isn't it?
So Carter's got himself to the front.
Yeah, I think that might only last until the next Kemmel Straight, but that's what we're here for, isn't it? Good slipstream racing. Stefan's poised behind Jamie to take that position back again. He may get it done by the time he gets to the chicane, maybe not. Difficult to effect a pass through here, and definitely not through Blanchimont unless you're certifiable.
Yeah, but the chicane's another passing point.
Yeah, Tyler's on the wrong side for the first bit, but the right side for the second bit. He's not going to get it in there, though. You don't get the traction there, do you?
No, I think that ruined his traction and let Wobbly through.
Yep. But that will go down in his little lessons learned in his head, so...
Yeah, Jamie Wilson right up with him now.
Yeah, and Stefan having a good look at Gary.
So can Jamie Wilson go from 4th to 1st down the Kemmel Straight?
Right, we're about to find out. They nip up over Radion. Flat out through this, in this car. Some cars you get a bit of a lift, no need in this one. And we are all over the track here. Who is that on the far right hand side? Is that Carter? It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so Carter went from 1st to 4th.
But he'll be first again on the next lap, it's fine.
Yeah.
We've got 2 pockets of 4 cars here.
That shows you the elevation of this track that you don't necessarily notice when you're driving.
Somebody's gone. I think it's Mike Frost.
Was... And Stefan.
And Stefan. They're that 2 out. Whoa! Carter's gone crazy.
Jamie Wilson up to 2nd.
Tell you what, I could have won this. No, that's not exaggerating. There's something happened heading down here towards Brussels. Oh, Mike's missed his braking point.
Yeah.
Oh. And you see that? Stefan's right rear snapped off and then jumped back on his car again.
Yeah. Mobile repairs.
Right, so that's what we were saying from before, wasn't it? You've got to give distance in these cars.
Yeah.
Everything about them is destroyable with the slightest of touches, and that's part of it. So that's Carter going around the outside of Tyler. And Jamie having a good look at this for the lead here. Ooh, everyone's a bit careful.
Jason Morris is going to get himself into this battle as well shortly.
He's not far off it. He's the one in the red council paint just behind these 4. In the distance, Adam Wright and Gary Craig racing together at the moment. And that's Alexander Roggenbuck in the yellow and black car. But here we go again.
Take your pick.
Right, so it looks to me like Carter's got the advantage here. All he needs is a way through, and he can't find it.
No, he was on the grass as well there.
He was. So Wobbly's holding him in. Meanwhile, Tyler catches up. So Jamie is going to take the lead of the race, or is he? Is this about?
He
oh,
is.
He is. He's done it. So about this lap is
Carter
where,
up to 2nd.
Yeah. About this lap is where I got all my grip when I was doing my practice laps, Clyde. So lap 3 was where everything felt like it was nailed down. And your prediction about Jason was absolutely right. There he is.
Yeah, and evening to Russell Cowell, who says he'll be signing up for round 3 and 4.
Excellent stuff. Everybody else should on here as well. I mean, can you imagine sending like 30 cars? all down the Kemmel Straight, you know. It's just a lottery, you know. Just roll dice for it.
You could go from 25th to 1st, couldn't you?
Yeah. I love this type of racing. It's brilliant. We did Classic Dolaras one year. Do you remember that? That was hilarious.
Yeah. And 30 minutes is a a strange length as well, isn't it? Because it's not really a sprint race for these, but it's not obviously not an endurance race.
No.
So, it's what...
3 wide. Sorry. Oh, that's a good camera angle, that.
I'm surprised these guys are going at it so hard so early, if I'm honest.
I mean, they're just having fun, aren't they? You can tell.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wobbly!
I think he went all on his own.
We need a slow-mo, please, Sam. That has to be slow-moed. Before they all get to Kemmel Straight, so we can have another laugh at the shenanigans.
I will. But there's battle on track, and it's more important than wobbly spinning around.
Is it? Oh, maybe it is, yeah.
Well, I will do another broadcast just after this one, just to show that spin again and again and again.
I bet this is some sort of tactic for him to get on pole for the next race.
Well, on the plus side, he didn't rage quit.
Not yet, no. So, up and over the top we go again. Jamie's got himself a bit of a lead here, which is about to be annihilated by the cars behind him.
See, I like where Jason Morris is.
Yeah.
He's got the toe to keep up, but he's just holding off. And so, you know what, you boys, you have your fun.
Yeah.
If any of you go by the wayside, I'll just have your positions for free.
Yeah, he's just playing with his food, isn't he? Alexander Roggenbuck has taken a place from Gary Craig further back. Mike Frost is moving forward again after his incident with Stefan. Here we go. This is priceless.
I'm pretty sure this was all on his lonesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the curb.
Oh, I got a bounce, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely view.
Who's 71? Because they did a hell of... Was that Carter? He did a hell of a job to avoid him.
Yeah. Good reactions. So Jamie... Ooh, Jamie! Do you see how much wobble was in that car? He was trying to... He couldn't tame that thing. So it was wild.
I think we may need to rename this to the Hexeal Anal Twitch series.
Oh dear.
I'm just watching and I can't keep my butt still at the moment.
No. It's just brilliant, this. Great fun. We're on lap 4, believe it or not. And nearly a third of the way in. Not sure my nerves can take a full race. So, Jason has ignored you completely and has forged himself into second place at the moment.
It's very hard to do, isn't it? When you've got the run, it's so difficult to be controlled and go, no, do you know what? I'll just ease off a bit.
Yeah, and Wobbly is making his way back to this group.
He is,
Can you believe that? Done a full pirouette and he's on his way back again. Tyler is basically pushing Carter uphill now. We're watching here. He's not going to do it again, is he?
No, but he's going to have to pay to get back in.
Yeah. Super wide.
So Carter back up to second.
Yeah, Jason relegated to third. Jamie got himself the biggest gap he's seen.
Yeah, he's going to be loving that in his mirrors.
Tyler's now bolted onto the back of Jason again.
We could rename one of the drivers Simon Trendle and go, yay, Jamie did it. It's nearly a second, what you're looking at. Nearly.
Yeah, it was over a second when he came through. Oh dear. At the end of Kemmel Straight, I've already forgotten what it's called. Lacombe.
Lacombe.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the biggest gap between first and fourth since lap 1, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And I think it will just disintegrate to nothing again very shortly. Oh, a defensive line here from Jason because Tyler's taking the outside route and making it stick.
That's a couple of times we've seen that move.
You don't normally see that move. These cars must be absolutely nailed.
Yeah, that's that lead gone.
Yeah, and now it's down to 0.3. Carter seems like a very handy driver in these cars, that's for sure.
Yeah, Wobbly got another 2/10 back that lap.
And just to mention something, one of the driver is at 10 incidents. I'm not gonna point any names. I've shown him on track already. We saw him. I'm not gonna say any name.
Did we see him spin?
No, in fact, it was not Wobbly.
Ah, must be Tyler then. Tyler's an incident gatherer.
It's not Wobbly. He's on the top pile. He's one of the best regarding off tracks, but it's not him.
Right, so Carter takes the lead again.
And
anybody keeping count?
On the chat, I don't have accurate incident points because SDK is not tracking them properly. So no, I don't have an overlay for that.
So, can Carter get away?
I very much doubt it. Hopefully Tyler can pull back onto that group again. He's not that far behind them. This is Carl Hardy. I don't think he's got damage. We only saw him reverse into the gravel, but he's done that thing that you were talking about before.
Yeah, I think we found our Kylie of the series.
Right. Adam has... No, that's not... Oh, yeah, it is Adam. Oh, Adam's done the same thing.
Yeah.
Somebody must have greased the track there.
I think it's that dip, isn't it, in the corner that just throws the balance of the car.
Yeah, the other place that you often used to see cars spinning was out of the chicane, the very, very last turn of the race.
Well, see that part there never ever affects me because I don't get anywhere near apexes, so I don't get in the dip.
So towards the end of laps.
Who's that?
Is that Wobbly?
No, it's Sir Alan.
Ah, right. Sir Alan wanted a panoramic view of that corner.
And Woodward on the chat, trying desperately to get points deducted in V8s.
Too eager on the gas there from Sir Alan. Safely back onto the track though, which is good. Right then, these two have got a bit of a breakaway here.
Yeah.
But they're tangling at the end of this straight, which will no doubt happen. We'll bring the others back into it. So here we go again. Super late on the brakes there from Jamie.
Hopefully one of the drivers will be able to give us the exact length of the tow or distance. But I saw Tyler Hewitt was 2.3 seconds behind at the start of the Kemmel Straight, and it rapidly started coming down. So whether he was just in the tow, I don't know. But if he was, that's massive.
Yeah. And the aero push will be in effect with these cars once you get under the rear wing. But, yeah, I mean, there's Wobbly. He's caught Jason now.
Yeah, I don't know what the tyre wear is like on these cars. Again, we'll ask some drivers at the interviews, so we've got some information for races in the future.
Yeah, and just so that you're aware, that's what no gap looks like. They were almost one car with 8 wheels just then. Shallow line in and a lock-up from Jamie Wilson. He's going to give Carter a good run here. Don't know what he can do with it though, because I think he got some wheel spin coming out of the chicane.
Yeah, it's unless you just want to throw one down the inside here, it's not really much of an overtaking point.
No,
you need the other car to be compliant.
Yeah.
And especially when you've got the Kemmel Straight coming up, there's no point risking it really.
No incentive. And just to point out, Tyler's 1.5 seconds behind at the minute. These guys are going side by side, so they're going to lose time if he's got tow.
Yeah, and I think Wobbly's come in and he's dragging Jason with him as well.
Well, Wobbly's just overtaken Jason, but Jason will be benefiting from that, I think.
Yeah, I think that's all going to tighten up at the front again. This is Adam Wright and Alexander Roggenbach. It's an angry wasp-looking car, as opposed to Jamie Wilson's Murray Mint-looking car.
Yeah, they're green and white chevrons, don't they?
Yeah, and I know for a fact that Jamie was swearing about painting this car and lining up all of the lines.
Park on the top of the car.
I'm going to send the drivers a message and just let them know that if they want to have an interview during the 15-minute warm-up, they can.
Is that except Wobbly?
No, except Tyler, because we've only got 15 minutes.
So, Carter is still in the lead for now. I expect until the Kemmel Straight again, unless he bolts it to the right-hand side, and I don't even think that'll save him if there's a draft to be had. We're watching Mike Frost closing in on Gary. And that might be an overtake that's executed at the end of Kemmel Straight as well, or here. So under braking, Mike stuffs it in the inside there. Don't know that he's going to have the right side of the track for Eau Rouge, unless Gary drops in behind him, which he has done. So common sense prevails for Gary Craig.
Yeah, because he's going to get it back now, isn't he?
Well, he shouldn't he? I mean, he's going to have huge amounts of overspeed in theory. Carter managed to stay ahead for the Kemmel Straight.
Yeah, 10 minutes to go.
Gary's tucked back in again by the time they get to Les Combes. Shouting for Frosty, saying go Frosty. Gary closing in on him again, using all over the track, and sticking with him all the way through Double Gauche. It's on board with Gary. Heading through this complex here, onward towards Blanchimont in a moment. Gary's driven open wheelers before with me. I think we did the Indy Pro series. So he knows his way around, but he's probably not got a lot of practice under his belt for this one just yet.
Nikolai on the chat seems to think that Gary's carrying some damage.
Oh, right. Well, we'll have to have a close look at his car at some point. It's odd for him to be off the pace in the way that he is at the moment, that's for sure.
Bowman asks, were you guys expecting these standings? Well, from me, personally, I didn't know what to expect.
I did expect Wobbly to be at the front, possibly with Tyler. I didn't know anything about Carter Hutchison. Oh, who was that disappearing? That was Mike Frost disappearing. Wonder what happened there. So heading towards La Source. And went straight on and parked it. Has he gone for a foggy?
Possibly.
Oh, and he's left the session. How very strange. So I can honestly say I wasn't expecting the standings that we've got right now. I expected, well, I did expect Stefan to be further up than where he is, but that's because of an incident at the start more than anything, I would think. And Gary Craig to be further forward, as has already been noted by Nikolai.
Yeah, and did say go Frosty.
Yeah, literally followed the instruction. He went.
So Jason Morris has got past Wobbly again. So this is going to hamper Wobbly's progress.
Should be giving him some.
His hand.
I should be giving him some of his own motivational speeches.
Yeah, you should do. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's the pedal on the right, and why are you so rubbish? This is pretty much
the tame version, obviously.
It really was as well. Yeah. This is what I had for hours and hours at Daytona. Go faster, Wobbly. Why are you so slow? Russell Cowell's got them all. He was in the same session as me. I will have to ask him if he comes to the booth why he wasn't better. Why he wasn't very good at this.
Yeah, and Tyler's not making much of an inroad into these first two anymore.
No, he seems to be outside the tow range now.
Yeah, I think the other thing that's happened is I think Jamie Wilson, rather than going side by side with Carter, he's just staying behind.
Yeah.
And therefore not slowing both cars down.
Yeah, and I thought Jason would have overtaken Wobbly on Camel Straight, but he hasn't. He stayed behind him. Because Wobbly took the position, I think, at La Source. There's a lot of exchanging of positions going on all the way through at the minute. Because you don't need much of a... You can still overtake with quite a gap to the car in front, can't you? Because you've got such a huge benefit on the slipstream. Although Carter looks like he's pulling a gap now.
Yeah, it could be that maybe some of the drivers who abused their tyres in the first couple of laps are now starting to struggle.
Well, usually Tyler's a nice and smooth driver, isn't he? And I do recall somebody in one of the chats saying that this car does reward coming off the gas early and braking late, which is an open wheel tactic anyway, but it's a strange driving style to adopt after you've been driving with doors.
Yeah, it'd be good to get some of these drivers in the interview room between races. Oh, Jamie's a bit wide there. Just so we can throw these questions at them. See what's going on with these cars.
This is the biggest gap a leader has had, 1.4 seconds.
Yeah.
And we saw Jamie's car dancing about in the chicane, losing him time, so maybe his rears have started to turn to liquid now.
But I think Jamie will be in the toe of Carter, and I think Tyler will be in the toe of Jamie. Just going to watch those gaps on the screen, see if they come down. Nothing major, to be honest.
Remember what the toe was in Indy Pro or in Star Mazda now, so I can't bring that to mind and give an educated estimation.
And obviously for round 2, which comes up after the 15-minute warm-up, there is a reverse top 10.
To me, like Nikolai is suggesting that black flag wobbling. So yeah, I'm quite tempted, it has to be said.
I don't think you need to, mate. I think he can manage that all on his own. Oh, cake has arrived.
Yeah, update on the incidence point. There's someone at 12, which is not wobbly, sadly. There's someone at 11, another one 11, wink wink, and 976. So
that was so subtle, Sam. So subtle.
Why? The wink wink that obviously totally not said that was wobbly on 11 incidents? Nah.
I think it is Bowman 1995. Rick Verhoek. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
I'm
is.
wrong.
It is.
It is. Yeah. So he's sharp-eyed, spotted that Sir Alan is in the pole position for race 2 at the minute.
And I think that is the white flag.
Yeah, that is. I was just going to say that. I don't know if you noticed, but this is the white flag lap. So Tyler closing in on Jamie Wilson for second. Looks like Carter Hutchinson. Sorry, Carter. I'll get that right eventually. Or just change your name like I do with everybody else.
Yeah.
Don't think Jamie's going to get any. In fact, I think he's pulling away from Jamie, whereas Tyler is... I think Tyler's only got maybe outside... Where did he pull that outside move?
Into the chicane after Blanchimont. At full chat around the outside at the kink. Let's see if he can emulate that again. Oh, that's super wide from both of them. There's 1x for both racers there. Tyler turning in a little earlier there than Jamie, and it sends him wider for the second part of Double Gauche. So
Jamie Wilson is going to have to go defensive, isn't he, into the chicane?
He is, but by what we saw before, well, Tyler's not going to have the grip he had before, is he? So we're going to have to see what happens here. Going defensive didn't help the last poor swine that tried it, so I don't know whether it's even tempted to come off the gas going through Blanchimont here. He's probably going to stick in it. Not got any toe though, but he's got the optimal line into the first part of the chicane.
Yeah, but if Jamie can stick round the outside, which he can.
That's good. That was very good from Jamie Wilson. And a drag race to the line. Oh, that was close.
That was a very close finish.
He kept it though by 0.03 of a second. Still got cars circulating.
There you go. Rick's got it right. He was impressed by Hutchinson.
Let's just mash the words together. crazy end to the race. That was good. And just watching the rest of them come over the line.
I know I'm biased, but I thoroughly enjoyed that race.
Yeah, that was good. The first part of it was crazy.
Yeah. Like I said, that was Skip Barber's on steroids. That's absolutely fantastic.
How many wheels will fall off in the first lap of race 2? That's my question.
Well, looking at it,
Alan.
Ooh. What's that?
Alan was a bit wide. The curve on the inside and a bit sideways.
Sir Alan gets his car over the line in 10th place, so he'll be the pole man. I don't know whether anybody's told him for race 2. Stefan wringing its neck going around the last 2 turns.
Right, well, we've got race 1 winner, Carter Hutchison, waiting for us. Carter, welcome to the booth.
Hey, how are you guys?
Yeah, not too bad. So, first time we've spoken to you. That looked like an absolutely fun-filled ride for you guys up the front.
It was an absolute pleasure to race those guys and an absolute blast. The racing was hectic at first, and I think everyone finally realized that, but on the bright side, it was completely clean. Something you don't generally get in these cars, so I think everyone was a little surprised, and then we started doing some 3 wide stuff, but no, it was an absolute blast for sure. Hopefully it was as fun to watch as it was to drive.
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic to watch. We see drivers, including yourself, go from, into the Kemmel Straight in first, out of the Kemmel Straight in fourth, and everybody in between mixing the places up as well. Now, race 2, you will be starting from 10th position. I'm guessing you're going to be using some of the same tactics to get your way back up to the front of the grid again.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, there are a lot of rounds in this series, so I think just playing it really smart, for everyone being reversed, I think the best thing we can do is just attempt to make the least amount of damage as possible, but based on the racing that was occurring, it should be fun. It should be tough, but looking forward to it.
And what sort of experience have you got in this car? Have you been racing in it regularly this season, or are you new to it?
Picked it up about a week ago, I think, right at the beginning of the Spa week. So relatively new, but seeing as it's only been out for, I think the seasons were on week 8 right now, so 8 weeks, so not too long. Car's relatively simple to drive, but the draft is the biggest thing, right? It doesn't really matter if you're a half a second off pace if you can stay in someone's draft. So relatively new, but it seems like everyone's got the same hang of it. So it'll be fun.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on winning that first race, and the best of luck for race 2.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hopefully we're in here again talking to you guys.
Well, it doesn't matter where you finish. You can always pop in for an interview.
There you go. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Carter. Good luck for race 2.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Pete, let's bring in Mr. Gary Craig for you.
Yeah, mid-conversation. Gary, good evening.
Evening.
Glad you weren't swearing. Or maybe you were. Nobody will know now.
No, I wouldn't do such a thing.
Popular opinion on the chat was that you were carrying some damage throughout that race. Was that true or not?
Yeah. When Jason did a mega double overtake on me and Stefan,
yeah,
and then he was on the inside exiting that chicane, and he was tighter than I was, and I just went full throttle like normal, and he had to let off, and I didn't account for the fact that he was tighter, so I lost the front right wing, so every time I turned into a left-hand corner, the car was nearly turning on me. It almost did the first lap. So I was I was doing 24-second laps whilst everyone else was doing 20s and 21s.
All right, you must be. Well, where did you finish anyway?
Like
You
eighth.
Eighth. So you must be hoping for better fortune in this one.
I hope I don't spin my wheels quite so much on the start.
Right. Yeah, there was a few did that though. Yeah.
I got done by 2 or 3 people to start. Jamie came past, Jason came past. So that was good first few laps, and I was like having fun in practice with Wobbly and Tyler. I think with the draft I could have held on in there. I'm definitely not as quick. It's not my kind of car usually, but it's good fun, good close racing, and it's mostly flat out around here as well in this car.
It is. I did some practice laps, and I think my fastest, embarrassingly, was a 2:23.0.
That's good.
Well, it got me pretty much the back of the grid in qualifying, but never
it's
mind
really
that.
it's really quick in here though. Like early on in qualifying, it was really quick in here. Like I came in and did like 3 seconds a lap faster than I did in the official practices, and that time that you did was quicker than I'd done before that. I'd only done 4 laps practice total before this, but that's not the point.
And is this the sort of car that you would consider doing officials in now that you've done one race?
No.
Check it out.
It's not like I don't usually do single seaters or downforce cars, so I'm totally out of my comfort zone. The wrong wheels are driving the car, Pete.
Yeah, the drive is at the wrong end. It's like that Corvette spoof ad when they brought out the new Corvette, and he was hooning it round. But let's hope you can get to the front and stay at the front and not carry any damage this time, and seek better fortunes. What's the tyre life like, or do you not really know now because you carried damage?
I think it was fine, though Wobbly thinks he killed his, but he was, of course, a bit faster. I was just off, I was down on top speed. I was having to shift down a gear in Eau Rouge, so I probably wasn't pushing the tyres. But Wobbly thought he kind of killed his, but he was pushing mega hard.
Well, spinning around doesn't have to prevent the tires to be killed, but yeah.
That too.
He was spinning around slowly, though, on the footage that I saw, Sam. Anyway, we will hopefully be talking to you as a podium place for race 2. So I'll let you get back to doing whatever's left of your 15 minutes of interim practice, and speak to you later on.
Cool. Thanks, guys. See you at the end.
Cheers, Gary.
Okay, so another race 1 interview. Tyler Hewitt, welcome to the booth.
Hello, I'm so excited. I get the chance to occupy like 4 hours of your time instead of one interview.
So any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, shout out to Wobbly for the setup so I could go quicker with it than him. That was fun.
That looked like a hell of a lot of fun. It was certainly a hell of a lot of fun to watch. You guys were properly going at it for the first 3 or 4 laps, then it calmed down a little bit. What was it like to drive in that?
God, I was telling myself I can't commit every Saturday to a league race, and I might have to rethink that because, gosh, that was so much fun. I mean, it was just, Carter and Jamie were amazingly clean and just some really, really good close quarters racing. And Wobbly was being a nutcase, but fortunately he only took himself out. So it was just, a ton of fun racing with guys who know how to strategically position their cars, because that's what you got to do in these, is just put them, they have so much grip and they're so low powered that they'll make just about any corner at any speed. You just need to put yourself in a position to take advantage of people and make passes. And it was just a lot of fun figuring out, what the toe situation was, because it's more powerful at close range than like the GT4s, but it doesn't extend as far back. So I was maybe a 10th or 2 a lap slower than Carter, but once him and Jamie broke free, there was just nothing I could do, because Jamie could hang on to Carter in the toe, and I couldn't. I was quick, but I wasn't that quick, and I couldn't reel Jamie in until the very end. So. But it was a lot of fun, and really looking forward to race 2 here.
Yeah, and reverse top 10 for race 2. So you've got to do it from near the back, although obviously it's not a massive grid. But what are you expecting? Are you expecting a similar start to race 1 where everybody's going for every move, every single corner? Or do you think race 2 will be a little bit more sedate now that people know where they can get the overtakes done and people will be a bit more patient?
I don't honestly know what to expect. The problem is with the draft the way it is, you can't afford to lose touch with someone who's quicker than you. So in that sense, I basically go into this race thinking I've got to keep Carter and Jamie behind me. But at the same time, these cars get really sketchy on cold tires, and that's like the first couple of laps. So, I had a major moment in Brussels on, I think it was lap 2, where I was full one hand, 180 degrees of opposite lock, trying just to hang on to it. And I know there were some issues behind us, so it's gonna be dangerous, I think. And I've got to, I think those of us starting towards the back need to be prepared to make some evasive maneuvers because it's going to be tricky. But really, it's just a matter of not getting damage, because we saw how much that hurt Gary, and not losing touch with the quick folks.
Yeah, well, it's a long season, so hopefully drivers will be hard but fair in race 2, and we'll see plenty of lead changes again. So thanks for coming and joining us between the races, and hopefully we'll talk to you again after race 2.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Well, Pete, it certainly sounds like the drivers are enjoying it as much as we are.
Yeah. If you were at the front or in either of those 2 pods of 4 races, I think you'd have had a blast at the first 4 or 5 laps of that one. It'd be interesting to see if anybody does any tyre life preservation in this one. I don't think they will. I think they'll just be going for it. Get to the front and try and get clear, knowing that the tyres are going to go off at some point, and if I can get myself a big enough gap, then it doesn't matter. We'll have to just see what happens with these guys.
I think the issue... Sorry, I got mouth for the cake.
I haven't noticed.
Getting clear, isn't it? It took... I'm going to call him Hutch.
Yeah, that's already been done on the chat, by the way.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. It took Hutch, 23 minutes to pull a gap where nobody could drag him back in the tow. So yeah, I don't know. I really hope race 2 is like race 1 with the action.
Mm-hmm.
My worry with a car like this is if there's a big one up the front, it's going to affect everybody, and then the person that wins the race is going to be the person with the least amount of damage.
Yeah, so this one may end up with a massive pile of, well, whatever these cars are made of, at Lake Hume at the end of the Kemmel Straight. If the guys at the front, obviously because we're on a reverse grid, aren't as wily as the guys behind, as it were.
Yeah. Interesting that Tyler was saying about the tow. So it's obviously not. It doesn't stretch as far back as I thought. So
No.
I think that was probably more. When the cars up front get side by side, they're slowing each other down, and that lets the car behind catch up to them.
Mm-hmm.
Tyre wear from the drivers there, a bit of a mixed bag, wouldn't you think? Wobbly thinking he'd killed his tyres, other drivers saying no, that was fine.
Well, like you were saying, the spin's not going to help tyres, and we know what they're like on iRacing at the minute. or rather now. The new tyre model is excellent, but they do turn to mush very quickly. So yeah, I think and some drivers are pretty brutal on tyres. Wobbly is used to doing rear-wheel drive cars, not necessarily open-wheelers, but he is one of those that falls into the category you mentioned right at the very start, the annoying ones that are quick in any car. But it might be that he's just been more brutal on his tyres. We'll have to see in this race and see what he can do towards the end of the race. I expect he'll have learnt from that, you would hope, not to cut that corner particularly as tight and destabilise the car, because that's all caused by having one wheel in the air, isn't it? And having too much grip on one wheel as you accelerate through the apex of the corner. So I'm sure he's going to have learnt from that and correct whatever he did. So I think we're up for a good race this second one. It's certain the first couple of laps at least are going to be absolute pandemonium, I would think.
It's going to be interesting to see what those fast guys from race 1 can do in race 2. Like we said, it's not a massive grid, so it's not like they've got to come from 35th place, but
Yeah.
they've still got to get through. They've still got to get through safely, and they've still got to get through without damage. So yeah, it could be interesting. I think to coin a phrase of Bill, this isn't Carter's first rodeo. It sounds like he's been.
I can guarantee it's not, because I saw his eye rating a minute ago.
Yeah, I happened to notice that as well.
I don't think I can count that high.
Right, okay. So, grid is forming for
They're already
race
up.
2.
Right, I'll blast through the starting grid if I've got one. So, Alan Toome will go first, Carl Hardy second, Gary Craig will be third, Alexander Roggenbuck fourth, Adam Wright fifth, Jason Morris will go off sixth, Wobbly will go off 7th if he ever grids. Tyler will go off 8th. Jamie Wilson will go off 9th. Hutch, as we're now calling him, will go off 10th. Stefan will go off 11th. And Mike Frost will be the last car on track.
Okay, lights are coming on. And we're green for race 2. There's a shocker from Alan Toone.
Yeah, he's kind of just not gone.
Carl Hardy's going to take the lead.
Said nobody ever. Oh, right, you're not kidding. So, Sir Alan's not doing badly. He's in 3rd at the moment.
Well, Jamie had the best start out of the top 3 from race 1. He's up to 6th place already.
Yeah, there's a couple of people having a look at Sir Alan's car quite closely. They're inspecting it just to make sure he's not cheating in any way. And now they're overtaking him. Four wide. Four wide.
Holy schmoly!
Okay, I need to untense.
I think Alexander Roggenbuck just went, I'm going to say a bit wide, but it might have been very wide at the back.
Is he another one having a pay admission? Oh, is that Jason? Oh, Jason Morris.
It is, yes.
Was he helped?
We'll have to have a look.
Stefan is going slowly. Sir Alan is 3rd off last at the minute. Alexander Roggenbuck is trying to find how you get back in again.
So what happened to? It's definitely not Stefan.
No, I don't think there was contact. Yeah. Ooh, there was
there was there.
Yes.
Everyone's trying to avoid it.
Yeah, that was Stefan on the inside for sure. Here we go again.
We'll see it here.
So he's on the inside of Sir Alan. And then there's a car dead in front of him. And then he had to go to the grass.
I think he got away with it.
I do as well. I think he's been a lucky boy for once. Right then.
We're
Right.
ooh,
That's not the normal line. That was Adam. I think that's cheating, don't you?
I'm sure that was a shortcut.
So he's just been overtaken by more than one car and having to go very slow because he's trying to
He's
burn.
got to slow down, hasn't he? Gary Craig has took the lead from Carl Hardy.
Oh, right. So it's a bit shuffly and a bit messy at the minute. Who's that? Oh, that's Alan spinning round at last source.
Yeah, Jamie Wilson up to third, Wobbly Kneecaps fourth, Tyler Newitt fifth, and Hutch is sixth.
Carl Hardy going extracurricular, even though he doesn't need to on Kemmel Straight. And Gary retains the lead. Meanwhile, that's one Wobbly, one Jason, one Hutch, and one Tyler. So they're starting to move forward in twos.
Stefan.
Nikolai says,
Oh,
no.
oh, that was a weird one.
It was. It's not the first time I've seen a car do that, and Nikolai has now been proven wrong. Because he said, nobody's broken anything. Miracle. Oh, he had to get out of it. He had to get out of it, and he nearly wiped him out on the return journey. Adam pulling up as well. What's that about?
Unless he had damage from somewhere else.
I didn't see him get hit. And Carter Hutchison's car looked a bit squirrely in Lake Coombe just then. And a little bit wide there as well. Under some pressure at the minute from Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler would probably be best just sitting behind him and using him to drag him forward, but he's not going to.
No, I was just going to say he's ignored that fully. And he got that done before he got to Blanchimore. I can hear screeching tyres.
Oh,
and
it's wobbly again.
Is that a rage quit?
That's got to be a rage quit.
He said something there. Oh, he was helped.
Oh.
So hopefully after his tow he'll rejoin with his fast repair. And this is it. So this is Jamie getting into the back of Wobbly. He's already apologised and said he was trying to sit behind him and just got it wrong.
Yeah, Jamie might have got away with that because it was square on the nose, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And he's probably going to be 10 quid better off. Because I've still got that bet live.
So this is Jason Morris going past Sir Alan Toon. Alexander Roggenbuck, he must have done something here because he was quite a way behind these two.
Ooh.
Yeah, again, just dropped it on his own.
Yep. The car does want to swap ends if you're got too much steering lock. Oh, there's Wobbly back on track. Too much steering lock, cool tyres, and too much gas. Those three combined, and it's curtains.
And to be fair to Wobbly, that's good to see because Wobbly of old would have been supping beer watching the broadcast by now.
He would. Nikolai takes back his previous statement about no cars with damage, as all of them throw their cars at the scenery. So Gary Craig still leading this race.
Yeah, he can't get away, can he?
No. I think if he wins it, he'll be racing this in officials. Carl Hardy is trying to get back on terms with him and doing so very well at the minute. He was in the tow just then. The one-time leader of this.
I think from our chat with the Hutch during the interval, the officials sound, should we say, a bit wild.
Yes. even from doing Star Mazda way back and doing IndyCar Pro more recently, they're just crazy, honestly.
I did, I think it was IndyCar for a season, and basically started from pit lane every race and had some top fives.
So here we go. Tyler and Carter swapping places. He bump drafting.
I thought Tyler had disappeared then, but Sam had changed the camera.
Didn't look like Carter made any attempt to overtake, so maybe lessons from race 1. Carl still putting pressure on Gary, but Jamie is definitely closing now, Clyde. Very rapidly too.
He is, yeah. Looks like Alan going slow then. It might just be the angle.
Back on track though, so.
I think again from our chat with Hutch, as he quite rightly said, it's a long season and, you know, wins are not going to be everything. It's more about scoring big points in each race. So, you know, don't put everything on the line for a win and end up at the back.
Yeah. And Nikolai on the chat is asking, how did you pronounce Wobbly's real name? Sam got there before me, but for all the other people, if you listen very carefully, it's Knobhead. Yeah, and Rick just followed that one in, so yeah, brilliant. That's that sorted. Gary did a good job of driving on a defensive line there and keeping Carl behind him.
Jamie's on him now.
He is. I think this will be hard for both of them to block.
Well, if these three now start mixing it up, that's going to drag Tyler and Hutch into this battle.
Yeah. Where's Mike Frost? Is he on the back of that little group as well, or is he a bit behind?
I think he's a bit behind. I think that could be Stefan in there, who is out of position.
Right. Yes, very good. Well spotted. Right, so here we go. Jamie's not got anywhere to go, really. And Carl wraps it around the outside, you might call that.
Well, I don't agree with he didn't have anywhere to go. We've seen him 4 wide already.
That's true. No optimal route, let's say.
Yeah, as Nikolai just pointed out, Mike is up 6 positions.
Even you could have won this race.
Yeah, you better believe it. I could use the Wilson Nerf tactic.
Yeah. And look how close these two are getting here. Gary was literally underneath the gearbox of Carl's car then. He's dropped back a little way now after getting a strange line into that last corner.
Yeah, but here comes Tyler and Hutch.
Yeah, that definitely.
That sounds like a TV show, doesn't it?
It does, with people driving a Ford Gran Torino, red and white. That was my favourite cars as a kid. For that show as well.
Yeah. Russell Cowell says he thinks I should join for a season in TCR. Yeah. Sorry, I just need to commentate. And B, I'm currently between rigs.
Did you see how close Al and Gary got just then? That was unreal.
But look behind.
I know, they're there. They're there. It's a 5-car train, well, 6. But Stefan, I think, will just sit at the back of it. and try and tick the laps off and see how many positions he can pick up by the end of the race.
And just to answer Russell, Pete has a break from driving every Wednesday.
I did not enjoy that race on Wednesday. That
Your
car was
favourite
just...
track.
Oh, yeah, I love that track. I just couldn't get any pace at all.
Oh, 2x2x2. And Carter's being the sensible one, isn't he? He's just sitting behind and going, just do it, guys. I'm not fussed.
5th to 1st in 3 crashes.
See, if I was Stefan now, I'd be coming through. I'm unlapping myself.
Beep, beep.
Got our fingers out of the cockpit and all sorts.
Why is Wobbly not on track?
I don't know.
Oh, and Rick's just spotted the same thing. Carter is...
He was looking very interested then, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was nearly pushing Tyler around that corner. Yeah, it looks like something's definitely happened to Wobbly. Jason. Sorry, Jamie.
Oh!
And Carl Hardy gets helped round there, I think.
I think Carl Hardy hit somebody first.
Ah, right, okay. Let's have a look. On board with the Pie Master. Ooh,
Yeah.
did he? Or didn't he?
I'm sure he did.
I think Stefan may have driven over his front wing just for fun. Right, so this is on board with Tyler. Well, Tyler had no choice. He had a car sideways in front of him. His front wing doesn't look damaged in any way. And this is it from Carter's view. Whoa! Great evasive action there. Oh, was that Carl going round again? So Mike Frost gains a position.
Kylie Hardy.
Oh! Here comes Jason.
So,
Whoa, he's all over the place at the minute. Look at the front wing on that car.
It's not pretty.
Jason gets a position as well.
Yeah, 4 for the lead now.
So, Gary Craig still out front. Fighting them off, left, right and centre. I don't know that... no, I don't think Tyler's got any damage.
No, again, I think it was nose on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think if he had some damage, I think Hutch would have been straight past him. Jamie Wilson goes to the lead.
Yeah, for now, he's got it. But you can see that without damage, Gary is significantly more competitive.
Mike Frost up to 5th now.
Top 5 for Mike Frost. Ooh, where's Jamie gone?
Yeah. He's going to hold it, isn't he? I
think Gary will purposefully let him through because all the tow is at the top of this hill for him, isn't it? So there's no benefit from being in front at any point.
No, you could go from first to third here.
Excuse me, coming through. Room for a little one.
Ooh, Gary Craig was late on the brakes there. I think he had a couple of stabs at it.
Yeah. And Carter is right behind both of these guys, obviously.
Yeah, 12 minutes to go.
Gary.
I mean, he's got a big lead.
Yeah.
Not
Tyler's.
going to last, but
So Jamie's the one getting shuffled back at the minute.
yeah, very much a momentum car, isn't it?
It's the brakes that make you quick, if you know what I mean. The least you can use them, the faster you go.
You know that's true for a lot of cars, right?
Yes, but with these ones, it's, I don't know.
It's like saying the most you put your right foot down on the accelerator, the faster you go. And which is what Wobbly is trying to tell you since Daytona. But
Well, yes, but he's doing it to take the piss. But no, this one's about carrying speed from like all the way through the corner if you can do. And because of the downforce, of course, you can do. Whoa!
How did that not end in tears?
No idea. How has Carter still got front wing?
But look at the lead that Gary Craig has got now.
Well, it's Tyler.
Oh, sorry, it is, yes.
Yeah.
jeez, you haven't seen that 3-wide battle and noticed that
In
Tyler
thread in
actually
the
went
needle.
from P3 to P1.
I haven't got my glasses on.
Yeah.
So Gary has got a huge amount of tow here for Jamie. Carter's the one getting the Uber tow.
Yeah, I'm watching the gap to Tyler.
I think it will have probably grown because nobody was actually tracking him.
Yeah, this isn't over.
I think Jamie's about to get put down another position because Carter's on his inside there at Brussels. Maybe not, because he's going to retain it through whatever the left-hander is called.
I think Carter might be looking at that gap. Although that gap's come right down now. Gary Craig is zoning in on Tyler Hewitt.
Yeah, he's found his pace now that he's not got Jamie crawling all over him. But you're right, Carter will be looking forward thinking, how many laps have I got left?
Yeah.
Mike Frost keeping it clean so far. I hope I didn't just hex him in 5th place.
Oh,
hang on.
Gary was wide there.
He was super wide. He's just given up 2 places. What happened then?
Just too much speed, wasn't it?
Take to the sandpit, yeah.
Gets his bucket and spade out.
Yeah.
That's took him out of the lead battle for now.
Yeah. Tyler desperately trying to break any toe that might exist. I mean, there shouldn't be any underfloor damage for Gary's car from that, so hopefully he can stay in contention because there is going to be a few laps left. I don't know where Tyler's like driving his car at the minute.
So on board with Carter Hutcherinson.
Look the angle on his wheel.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he has got a little bit of damage, hasn't he?
Well spotted, that man, Sam. So, yeah, one of those incidents did end up with some damage, even into the Hoff.
So I was going to say, does that mean he's just going to nurse it round for a podium position? But
no.
Nah.
Rick says, the wing is the spade and the cockpit is the bucket. Backfire Simsport confirmed. What's Carl done now? Ooh, that's a bit of a snap.
Yeah, it was the twitch, wasn't it, that did it?
And it's a 50-50 after it goes as to whether you turn left or right to try and counter it. It's like, I don't know. Oh, and that's a fast... Oh, that is a big one.
That's a biggie.
Yeah. So some spares from the Hardy garage, if anybody wants any. Here, come flying round Blanchimon again, heading towards the chicane. Gary not managing to catch up, but Jamie
Wilson takes the lead.
Unreal. Yeah, Gary is struggling to catch up now.
Yeah, he's got no toe, has he? Unless he's getting a little bit from Stefan.
Well, this will help because these three going too wide into a Rouge isn't going to work, is it?
So Wilson, Hewitt, Hutchison at the moment. That's going to change a lot in the next 5 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
Go on, Stefan, get your lap back.
So Carter seems to be stalking these guys at the minute. Too wide through Lake Coombe. Probably going to be too wide at some point going into Brussels here. Maybe not. They've managed to find their decorum. Excuse me.
Gary's still not making inroads.
I think he is, but he's making it in hundredths rather than tenths, and it's not going to work unless he can get into that toe like you were saying.
What happened to Mike Frost?
Oh, you're joking. He was in 5th. Been in the pits, yes.
Was that a pit stop or a drive-through?
He hadn't really accrued much in the way of incidents. Oh.
But I don't know why. I've got no incident reported, so not sure what happened.
Well, he did stop in the last race and quit out and then rejoined. I think he's got technical issues.
Yeah, possibly.
So, into the chicane again. Wilson, Hewitt and Hutchison again.
So, I believe we got 2 more laps. I think they'll get the white flag next time round.
Carter doesn't know which car to follow. I'll follow them all. He's leaving himself a bit of room to get a run up. Did you see that?
Yeah. But
So
the trouble is, once these go too wide, it's like, where do you go? Gone early. He went early there.
He did, and it wasn't early enough. So maybe he's just working it out.
Now he's going to go again.
And 3 wide into Lake Coombe.
Tyler was the sensible one.
Yeah.
Ooh. Now Gary's getting back.
Yep. Now, hopefully Stefan, once he's on him, will let him through and let him battle with these, because he should catch up for the... oh, he's just done it, actually. Oh, yeah. Good lad. Good lad. Well done, Stefan. He could still win this, Gary.
It's going to be 4 for the lead on the last lap.
Yep, it's 4 for the lead now, I think. He's absolutely in contention with Carter now. But Jamie managing to keep in front just about on each of these laps. Point that Marco makes on the chat, which is Stefan's clearly got the pace, just no luck tonight, because he's sticking with this group, or he was. Now he's giving them room to race.
Yeah, so I think he's backed off on purpose, hasn't he? Now.
Yeah, Gary's not bothered one jot about track limits at the minute. He's just stuck it underneath Carter.
Because this is on for the last lap.
It is. I don't think Carter wants to be where he is. There's the white flag man giving it some. The chaos commence.
Who is going to be in the lead at the end of the Kemmel Straight?
Who's going to still have a car at the end of Kemmel Straight? Right, look at that. They're already crawling onto him, look. So that's Tyler, and that's Gary.
Gary.
Where's Carter? Why is he not in shot? What does he know that these guys don't?
Unless he's just struggling with that damage.
Maybe, yeah. Gary's doing a good job here of trying to keep on the outside. He's having to file back it. Oh no, not quite. Got a bit of speed here.
Carter's going up the inside.
He is as well. That was from 4th to 2nd in one corner. Oh, not quite.
Yeah,
Gary's still there.
Gary's there, yeah.
And Tyler's giggling away just a little bit up the road from this lot. I mean, you've got to take your hat off to Carter, haven't you? Driving with steering angle issues. In 3rd place, nearly 2nd. Gary, Carter and Jamie have probably got the opportunity into the chicane. We know Jamie's strong at that point.
Yeah. Going to be probably the last chance saloon.
Obviously going to go defensive. You're going to stick to the right hand side of the track.
Oh, I thought we was 3 wide into the chicane there.
Oh, Carter!
Oh, he's going to get the drag. Gary's going to get the drag. Oh, Jamie. Oh.
What a finish. What a finish. Tyler must be just watching his rearview mirror the whole lap.
Well, that was another fantastic race.
So, it was awesome. That's Jason coming across in 5th. Alexander Roggenbuck over the line in 6th. So whatever happened to Mike Frost, he got back on track pretty quick. Maybe reset his stuff or something, and he's got himself a 7th place finish. That's good. And look at this. The pole man.
Yeah, he's going to come home in, what, 8th?
Yep. And beat Carl Hardy and Wobbly.
Okay, so Carter's waiting for an interview already, Pete.
So Alan roll across the line.
Yeah, let's go through the official results before.
Through them. So, your race 2 race winner was Tyler Hewitt, as Sir Alan does donuts at Spa. That was for BSTV Esports Pink. Gary Craig came home in a well-deserved second place. Second step on the podium for BSTV Esports Green. Carter Hutchison finished in third for Full Send Racing, with Jamie Wilson just nanoseconds behind him for Team Chimera in fourth. Jason Morris in fifth. Alexander Roggenbuck in sixth. Seventh was Mike Frost. Sir Alan Toon finished eighth for Work God by Result. Stefan, who was stalking the leaders, albeit a lap down for nearly all of that race, finished ninth for VTS Esports. Carl Hardy finished 10th after destroying his car in a wall for Safeguard by Result. Wobbly crashed out, or was helped out, finished 11th, and 12th was Adam Wright for BSTV Esports Green.
Excellent. Right, so let's start off our interviews, and let's let you have race 2 winner, Tyler Hewitt.
Good evening, Tyler. How are you?
Hello.
So let me stop my screen from strobing like it does with SDK. Just one sec. There we go. Right, all done.
Take all the time you want, Pete.
So, you must have been just watching your rearview mirror for the last lap, were you?
Well, yeah, I was trying to pull Gary along, so I was, I made that move to get to the front initially, and then I had a breakaway, and I thought about taking it, and then I saw Gary had a gap back to Jamie and Carter, so I dropped back to just try and pull him away, and then of course he went off. And then I was like, well, he's not far back. I wonder if I can back him up into them. And at that point, they had caught me anyway, so there was no point. You know, you're not going to get away at that point. I don't think I had the pace to do that, even with Carter's damage. So I just made sure I was side by side with Jamie in every corner until Gary was there, and it worked out.
It really. And Gary really did only just get second place in the end after chucking it into the kitty litter. And we were on board with Carter. His steering wheel was, I don't know, on the face of a clock, he was kind of driving it between 10.2 and 5.2 the hour, if you know what I mean, in a straight line. So, yeah, I mean, to finish as high as he did with that kind of damage is awesome anyway. But yeah, you really threaded the needle on one of those laps towards the end. There was only just your car width, and you managed to thread through there, so that was highly impressive. You must trust the guys around you a lot. Yeah,
I mean, you know, Gary, Carl, Jamie, you know, I've raced with them so much, and they're all, you know, as respectful as it gets. I know Jamie had his little moment with Wobbly there, but that's definitely an outlier, I think, because I've had nothing but good races with all of that group that was up there at the time, and then obviously Carter's new, but he clearly got what this BSTV group's all about, because he was very much you know, aggressive but respectful, and he definitely had damage, you know, as you mentioned in that last race. So I think he was just hanging back to pick up the pieces if they fell that way, and unfortunately for him, we're such a good group of guys that they didn't. But no, it was it's, you know, I mean, it can't be said enough how much fun this league is to race in or all of these leagues, and what you know, just goes to show that you can have clean, fun, aggressive racing with the right group of people. So I had a blast today.
Yeah, and your opinion on the car now that you've raced a second circuit at Spa?
Yeah, I bought the car yesterday, so it was a bit last minute here, but it's a lot of fun. I know people rave about it. I just felt like I had a lot of the junior formula cars already, so I wasn't planning to make the purchase. But with this league coming together, I thought, what the heck? And yeah, it's great. You can really hang it around. The big thing for me was I was having a lot of trouble through Brussels with the rear stepping out, which I kind of figured out in the race was just you have to carry more speed than you think because there's downforce, and the car will do. If you don't carry enough speed, the car will keep turning and it'll just spin you around. So once I figured that out, I think I had the pace of the quickest guys in here, which was fun. Fun to be right on the pace with it.
I remember being in a chat with you, Clyde, at some point in the past, and you were talking to someone about handling a car with downforce, and he was telling you you're not going fast enough.
Yeah, that was IndyCar again. Yeah,
oh, right.
Yeah. Oh, the IndyCar is just a 100 times scaled up version of this, pretty much. I mean, it's you gotta go fast to go fast, which is the downforce mantra.
Yeah, and I mean, fantastically entertaining race. I bet you're all knackered. 2 lots of 30 minutes and exhausted, like you've been driving for 4 hours, probably.
I came into it today. I was like, oh man, 30 minutes. These races are going to be brutal. They're going to be way too long. And they were not. It was just the right length of time. It was, almost feel like we didn't get enough action in the 30 minutes. It could have been more, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
No, awesome stuff. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go?
Genuinely a shout out to Wobbly for the setup, because I was just running the iRacing set in the few laps I turned yesterday. And for showing me how to go faster than him in practice. That was helpful. And the rest of the BSTV guys, Gary and I know Adam turned up for a bit, despite being massively jet lagged, I think. So that was nice to see. And shout out to who's sponsoring this one? Hexeal. Shout out to Hexeal, and you guys as always.
Some stuff. Well, hopefully your calendar lets you drive some of these races, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one that you attend.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll this definitely won't be the only one I do, but I can't obviously can't commit to the full season right now.
No, understandable. Thank you very much for a fantastically entertaining evening, Tyler Hewitt.
See you guys.
And can I just confirm that flying back from, I think it was Greece, there's no such thing as jet lag. Anyway, let's bring in our second place finisher, Gary Craig. Welcome to the booth.
I'm getting major deja vu here, wasn't I?
So, your night, P nowhere in race 1, P2 in race 2, and a bit of a recovery drive after dropping the car all on your lonesome.
I think that was the first time I'd been in draft behind when Tyler got through, and then all of a sudden I was just understeered off and just drove into the gravel. So that was fun. But then Tyler was an excellent teammate and started fighting the guys he was with just enough to slow them up, so I got back on. And then that last couple of laps, it was absolutely excellent. I got on with a lap and a half to go. Then we just had like 3 wide for the rest of the race with Jamie and Carter. So that was excellent fun.
Yeah, the race win. Well, it was the same in race 1, but the race 2, either or. Tyler, you, Carter, Jamie, any of you guys could win that race because of the toe and the way that this car handles.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, fair play to Carter. He was driving with a broken car. Stephen was off centre that whole race as well after the early laps, so he did mega to keep that pace in the car. And then again, me and Jamie side by side. It wouldn't be me and Jamie racing in a BSCV league if we weren't side by side. We've had so many good battles in the TCR, and here we go again.
Yeah, and you said and we know you're not an open wheel racer. But what did you think of the racing overall tonight?
It's excellent. I mean, we were just chatting about that in the waiting room there. These cars are this car track combo especially is very forgiving with keeping the pack together because of the draft. You get excellent racing with it. But even without that, these cars are going to be fun to race, I think. But yeah, especially here tonight, most of that track was flat out. So there wasn't much you could really do to get away unless you were significantly faster than anyone. And I think Carter probably was without damage, but the draft was enough to keep us all in check there.
Okay. Well, congratulations on your P2 in race 2. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, you guys as ever for, again, putting on another new league and broadcasting it and doing all the commentary in the organisation. It's appreciated. And to all the guys who turned up tonight, because we had an excellent race up and down the field there. I think there was battles everywhere, but that was especially fun, that second race where I was involved in the battle for the lead. So well done to Tyler for winning that one. For Jamie, Carter, Wobbly had a mishap, but it's great fun. Jason as well in the first race. Really good racing, everyone.
Excellent. Well, hopefully we'll see you next time out, Gary Craig.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Okay, Pete, next up for you is, as we catch him mid-sentence, which we like to do, it's third place driver, Carter Hutchison.
Carter, yeah. It feels like only about 40 minutes ago that we spoke last.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah. So you picked up some damage in that one, and we were on board with you, and you were holding your steering wheel between 10.2 and 5.2 the hour, heading in a straight line. So that must have been chewing your tyres up for a start, and slowing you down for a second, eh?
Yeah, it was frustrating, and the minute I didn't have a required repairs flag, I just had to go full damage control. Then I just had to kind of sit in the draft and right behind Tyler and let him kind of do all the work and carry me back up to the front, because I knew all I could do was try to salvage as much as I could, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to fight for that win. So pretty much just damage control. Unfortunate. Just a simple racing incident. I think it was Steven had nowhere to go on that first lap and just sadly ended up on the back of me. So no hard feelings anywhere. That's racing sometimes, but we'll just go straight into damage control and do the best we can.
Yeah. When you see the broadcast and you see the onboard with Stefan, you'll see that he had a face full of car and only had the grass to take to. So you're absolutely right. It was an evasive manoeuvre that he had to execute on, and unfortunately he took some damage from it. But you are incredibly rapid in this car, even for having it for only a few days, like you were saying. But you say that you weren't vying for the lead, but you really were. I mean, you finished. Let me have a look. About 1/10 behind Gary in that one, and could easily have had the lead at any point with how close you were all racing to one another. What do you think to the guys in the league and their racing?
Oh, it's kudos to them for sure. So much respect being shown. Even the teammates trying to work together there at the end, they were still showing a lot of respect, leaving space. They're very aware of their surroundings. So absolutely no hard feelings anywhere. It was just good, hard racing, and can't wait to race these guys some more, because the battles should be epic on these next few tracks.
I think so. You'll have to find yourself some teammates to bring with you, and then you can do some team driving. I'm pretty sure that the pole was sorted out because of some drafting, and yeah, it'd probably be an advantage for you to have a racing partner.
Yeah, we get some team tactics going. See if I can convince someone to come and pull me around. But
yeah.
It's, even if I can't convince anyone, it'll be a fun and intense series. So either way, we'll have some fun and we'll try to do our best.
And Red Bull Ring next time out, I think Clyde said earlier, in a few weeks' time. Is that a track that you enjoy?
Not particularly, no. But I think that's a good thing, because the draft will be so strong. So hopefully there's a gentleman here that will really love Red Bull Ring, and I'll just be able to sit behind him like some did at this track and have some battles that way. But no, it's never really been one of my favorite or better tracks, so we'll have to put a little bit of work in and work with the guys at Full Send Racing and Major's Garage to maybe build something that gives us a little edge, but no, we'll have fun with it regardless of our feelings towards it.
Some stuff. Is there anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank all the guys over at Full Send Racing. They've always been really helpful when it comes to questions in regards to line choices and racing etiquette. So I've seen a lot of progress out of our guys there. So huge shout out to them. And then all the guys over at Major's Garage for setups and setup building. Other than that, no, it's just want to thank you guys, obviously, for putting this on, and all the other guys on the track for being so respectful and aware and making this a great way to spend a Saturday evening.
Some stuff. In that case, I'll let you back into the wild, and we'll see you next time out at Red Bull Ring. Thank you very much, Carter.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good evening.
Okay, seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Not very often we say that about Canadians. Right, so let's bring in our final interview of the evening, and it is the Murray Mint himself, Mr. Jamie Wilson. Welcome to the booth.
Bonjour.
Where do we start? Let's have a look at your results. So you had a fourth place and a second place. So fantastic points haul. But more important than that, it looked like you had some major fun out there.
Yeah, I mean, killing wobbly. What more do you want?
Yeah, well, you're a tenner richer already.
Yeah, I'll make sure your iRacing credits come through. Don't worry.
No, that was yeah, it was fantastic. Everything that I thought it would be, because I've always been an advocate for slower cars, better racing within reason. You know, a 2CV race or something could get pretty strung out, but you know, this kind of level works really well, and we happen to have the right set of drivers, you know, regulars and non-regulars, that really make that racing shine already. Race one, so.
Yeah, I was going to, obviously, you know, you take part in all of our leagues because you're a serial BSTVer. But we seem to, you know, we had Carter, we had Jason, we had Alexander. You know, sometimes when you start a new league and you've got some new drivers in with established drivers from other leagues, you sort of worry a little bit, you know, what are they going to be like? Are they used to racing officials? Are they going to be nerfing everybody off? But you know, everybody was well behaved, respectful, and it made for really entertaining and exciting racing. I did actually think Pete had a little bit of wee come out at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it would have done his throat any good, those races. I'm sure he was at like full, you know, like Davide Valsecchi in like F2 or something. If you're familiar with that, just trousers on fire kind of stuff going on. But yeah, no, it was absolutely brilliant. Lots of side by side. The car lends itself well to that kind of stuff. It'll be interesting when we get. I mean, we don't know what the calendar is, but it'll be interesting. Should we end up at tracks like Alton Park or Oran Park, or, you know, like tight, twisty stuff like that, it will be a different kind of racing, but it will still be really good racing, I think. So I think this car has got the versatility to work just as well in terms of close racing in a draft situation like here, Watkins Glen, you know, places like that, and also you know, weird short layouts, Brands, Indy, you know, places like that. So yeah, be very interesting to see where the calendar puts us.
And from a technical side on the car, you know, there's not a great deal that you can adjust in the garage setup wise. But, you know, have you found anything yet, or is it one of those cars where, you know, the setup doesn't really matter? It's just throw it about and see what happens.
It's more the latter than the former. I've done virtually nothing setup wise. I was just on the iRacing Spa set there with just the correction with a little bit extra fuel that you need in these races. But I'm sure that will be more of a factor as we get to tracks that, you know, necessitate a higher downforce level. There may be some differences in there may be some tracks where some people will be on a higher downforce level than others, and they're both achieving the same lap time, but in different means. So, which is always interesting. We've had that before as a team in endurance racing. Sebring was always the one where people ran low, medium, and high. So, and it was fascinating how it all sort of interplay together. But yeah, this out of any of the BSTV leagues, past and present, this is the most conducive to people being able to just arrive and drive. Gary did 4 laps of practice. That is enough. It is throw it around, deal with it off the seat of your pants. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I think Gary's 4 laps were 4 more than Adam did.
Yeah, and did Adam do okay? I have no idea.
He didn't finish the second race, but he got a 6th in race 1. So, I agree with you. I think you like you say, you don't have to put hours and hours and hours of practice into this. You sort of, if you turn up for the hour-long practice session, that'll be plenty. And the racing tonight is, certainly bodes well for the rest of the season.
Yeah, what better advertisement for the league that obviously we need to get more drivers in here, and if there was any kind of ambivalence towards Formula 4, it's not very interesting, it's probably a bit crap sort of thing, show them that broadcast, because it's so much fun. It's a triumph of a car from iRacing side. It's just fantastic, and there's no reason that people shouldn't be doing it.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. Right, before we let you go, mate, any shout-outs you want to give?
Yes, to Wobbly for being good about the fact that I horribly murdered him, which was just, he didn't do anything wrong. I caught myself out. It's very embarrassing. I was saying to the guys in the waiting room that Frank Tybosh knows what that's like, because he was the last person I did that to in TCR at Sonoma, if you think back to that a couple of seasons ago. So, apologies to him again. I'll allow him to wreck Simon in one race. There you go. Let's make it even that way. And to you guys for putting it on, and Sam for doing all he does, camera wise and everything. Looking forward to watching this one back, because I'm sure it's a high octane experience all the way through.
It certainly is. Yeah, it's well worth a watch. Well, as usual, thanks for coming and letting us grill you in the booth, and hopefully we'll see you next time out.
Yep, definitely. Cheers, guys.
Right, guys, so that's the interviews over. Now it's time for me to put the pressure on you two. And we're going to start with you, Pete. Give us your driver of the evening.
I think for me, it's going to be... it's either Tyler or Jamie for me. Just because they were consistent all the way through. They were quick. I'm going to go with Tyler.
So a vote for Tyler from Pete. And Sam, your driver of the evening.
Mine will be Carter. First time racing with a lot of guys that used to race each other, and he did the great work being on the same level respect-wise, and he was even better pace-wise. And driving with that damage to wall race you, kudos to him.
I'm not going to disagree with you, Sam. My choice was purely on results, and it was between Tyler and Carter, who both had a win and a 3rd place. But for me, the one that edged it was Carter, just for carrying that damage in race 2 from lap 1 and still managing to get a step on the podium, and could have almost nipped past Gary to get 2nd. So that's a 2nd vote for Carter on his BSTV League debut. Right, so Pete, how do you sum that up? Was it I don't know, was it exciting? Was it manic? Was it mad? Was it professional? Was it all of the above?
Things. I was less trying to work that out and trying to work out how I mop up all the wee from all the laughing I was doing, because that was just crazy. Wow, I expected it to be pretty intense for the first couple of laps, and then I thought, well, we've not got that many racers, I should say, and it's a 30-minute race. Maybe they'll just get lost around, such a big lap like Spa, 4 miles or whatever it is. It's not 4 miles, is it? Something like that. Anyway, but that was not the case. It was just constant, non-stop action. I'm really surprised, positively surprised by it. It's fantastic. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, and again, it pains me to say it. I agree with you. A little bit worried, doing an open wheel series. A little bit worried by not so much the lack of sign-ups, because I do believe, as I said before we went on air, this league is going to be a grower and not a shower. And I was a little bit worried that, with 12 cars on the track, if they all got spread out, it's going to be a bit processional. But, the cars, the track, and the driver combo just did the exact opposite. There was something going on from minute 1 to minute 30 in both races. So I'm now really looking forward to the rest of the season. And Sam, from a camera side of things, perhaps you thought you was in for a nice easy evening. I think it turned out to be far from that.
Way far away from that. I knew Spa was a track where the draft is very important, and I wasn't sure about these cars, but apparently it's a draft car as well, so it's good. Really looking forward to next one, because that's going to be exactly the same, if not more, at the Red Bull Ring. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, most definitely. Right, so what have we got coming up on BSTV in the next 7 days? So Wednesday, we are back in GT4 TCR action from Laguna Seca. Watch for Pete to die at the carousel. And then next Saturday, we are back in V8 ESC action with rounds 13 and 14 from Imola. And those guys always put on a good show. So looking forward to next week's racing. But more importantly, Pete, tomorrow it is Poopcast episode. We've got a lot of racing to talk about, a lot of leagues to talk about, a special going on, a special guest. No Sam. He's basically left me and you alone to do whatever the hell we want. It's either going to be absolutely brilliant or we're not going to have any viewers.
Nice chat, and I'll bring a bottle of wine just in case nobody's actually listening. But yeah, it's going to be great. So join us tomorrow. Is it 7 o'clock? We're starting that one.
7:30.
7:30. And if you want to join us, the YouTube chat won't be on, will it? It'll be come and talk to us this time, won't it?
Yeah, it's exactly right, Pete. So no YouTube chat. If you want to come and talk to us, get yourself in the interview waiting room. We will drag you in and we can talk to you from there. So really looking forward to that. I've put a lot of effort into some funnies into it, and it's only going to be once a month, so we'll get to go through everything that goes on in the BSTV leagues, plus much more. So that's going to be good fun. Anyway, back to tonight. So I'd like to say big thanks to definitely to all the drivers for putting on that fantastic show tonight. To Hexeal for sponsoring this series. To everybody that joined in on the chat. And I know Russell has already said that he will be signing up. The rest of you guys on the chat, you saw how good this racing was. You know where the website is. You know how to sign up. Let's get some more cars on the grid and make it even more exciting. Also, big thanks to Sam and Pete for joining me. I'm pretty sure neither of them, and even me, was expecting such awesome racing tonight, but it's turned out to be absolutely brilliant. Make sure you drop this video a like, because it was absolutely brilliant. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, and make sure you follow us on Facebook, and then you'll never miss any of our action again. So that just leaves me to say goodnight, close the broadcast, let the guys say goodnight, and then we'll disappear and we'll get prepared for tomorrow night. So good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay safe.
Tune in tomorrow, and for all our other races. Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, and good night. And guys, please do not take down the channel tomorrow. Just please. See you next time.